Howdy everybody, we're back with some more RPG horror stories. Let's jump right into it. Our first story today is going to be from user bonusexact8918 and is titled, My Players Called My Monsters Vulgar Words. So I'm a dungeon master for this game I am running. The plan was for my players to find a gift for a wedding and bring it back. Pretty easy, right? It was for the first 8 minutes of the game. The moment they went into a tavern, they tried to buy a barrel of fine wine and practically skipped most of the session by gifting that. Though I quickly fixed that by telling them that the husband of the wedding was running a winery, so wine was already what he had plenty of. The bartender told them there was a dungeon, offered some gear to them. Two of the players started with no gear and only gold coins, so I wanted to give them some weapons and armor. One of the people said their items were confiscated and the only reason they had gold pieces was because they had shoved them up their ass, and told them that at the end of the dungeon there was a gibbering mouther. Okay, so shoved gold up their keister. How old are these players? I'm curious how open the DM left the initial quest. Was it just, hey, you guys need to go get a gift? Or, was it more than that? And is this just like an instance where the party needed some spoon feeding? Though, if this is like your first session, my hope would be that or your first couple, that you kind of work with the DM. If the DM's kind of like, hey, here's a thing you need to do. You need to, as like a player, especially when you're first getting into character, be like, oh, okay. And just kind of go along with what they're trying to give you, as opposed to trying to branch out on your own and just do whatever the hell you want. That's when things went wrong. They instantly thought that this monster would be a perfect gift and called it a gaping mouth monster, since its name was weird. Later on, they decided to gift the dungeon itself, but that never ended up happening. Later on, after brutally setting some bandits on fire, they went and found the dungeon. The dungeon itself was overly too strong for them. Like, imagine 4 level 2 players going through a dungeon, half of them with no gear, going through a dungeon with 2 gibbering mouthers and around 10 goblins with 5 hobgoblins. Okay, so funny name is nothing to me at this point. My players turn just about any of my NPCs that I have that annoy them into some sort of pun or dirty joke. I just kind of roll with it. To be honest, it's kind of funny trying to guess sometimes what they'll come up with. Now, burning bandits to death. Is this an evil campaign? Because that's pretty damn evil. Also, why is the dungeon too strong for them? Because certain PCs, the DM didn't have gear, which I don't know why the hell he did that, or they did that. Was it too strong accidentally, like by design? Was it too strong? Because if it was by design, that's the DM's fault. You really shouldn't have done that. Like, you want to make sure it's balanced but challenging, not insanely challenging. That was not a problem for them. They practically, without a fight, mostly persuaded the goblins and hobgoblins to follow them, and then they met the gibbering mouther and just said the word rape almost every sentence. Later on, they started looking for a rape trainer goblin, Jesus Christ, so they could get the gibbering mouthers under their control. Okay, again, how old are these players? Who the fuck says rape every goddamn sentence? Also persuaded the goblins and hobgoblins to follow them? Like, did they roll nat 20s? For DMs out there, your monsters can have some sentience. They can have goals and ideals. If the dungeon is a hobgoblin or goblin's home, and 4 random fucking assholes walk in, do you think it would be easy to persuade you to just let them wander about if somebody walked into your fucking house? The players would have to paint a pretty little story to get goblins to just follow them around, in my book personally, especially if the dungeon was their home. Also looking for a rape trainer goblin. What the fuck is wrong with OP's players? These are some... what the fuck? To be honest, me even continuing the session makes me think I was drunk or high. I wasn't. I finished the session and a few hours later asked them how they felt about it. 2 main people said it was pretty funny without them having to wait for me to make the dungeon map on the fly. One of the other 2 people who were mostly just watching things, not saying a word after entering the dungeon, said they were uncomfortable about all the rape jokes the other 2 did, which fucking blame them. I honestly would be too, are these edgy teenagers? If rape isn't an allowed subject to the table and the table has not discussed it, maybe we stop and have a conversation if people are going to ask for rape trainer goblins and say rape every fucking sentence. I personally would be rid of the 2 who are making rape jokes because it's fucking distasteful. I'm all for some dirty humor. I'm also for some dark humor. There's a point where if you're using the word rape every sentence, it's just it's not funny. It's just annoying. To be honest, at least half of that was all my fault for even continuing the campaign, but the worst part was when the very next day I asked them to stop so it wouldn't happen in the future. They said I was ruining the fun, even though I let them derail most of my campaign into how they wanted to play. P.S. Most of us are underage, about 17 years old. And there it is. They're edgy fucking teenagers. If someone is going to act like an asshole and then get mad when you ask them to not act like an asshole, maybe don't play with them. I know this can be difficult when you're younger, but it's important to learn to stand up for yourself and not tolerate this bullshit. They can go be edgy at their own table. So I really, really hope, because when you're young, you're dumb, though I would hope by 17 you have a little bit more of a head on your shoulders, but I remember being that young. I was a fucking idiot too sometimes. I really do hope one day that those kids look back at their shit, like edgy humor, and really cringe. Like, I hope they just make it like just painful face when they go back and think about how cringy that and shitty those jokes were. Our next story is coming from user ExpensiveBet8973 and is titled "Problem Player Ditches D&D, Complains When Not Invited." Hi, I posted not too long ago, but I just discovered this Reddit and have plenty of stories to go through, so Problem Player, we'll call him Barbarian, because he usually plays as a barbarian, is very frustrating to play with. I mix up playing as a PC and DM, although I usually DM among my friends. Recently, a D&D group started in our high school. Oh boy. We all said we would join, and come the end of summer, he doesn't join. At first, it wasn't an issue. I mean, we played all summer, no way his spark died the second we get to play more. He makes excuse after excuse until saying he just doesn't want to play there. I ask him if he still wants to play at all, as we have a running campaign, and he has been the certified tank until this point. He says, yeah, of course. And I was skeptical because he hadn't been keeping his word on anything recently, but I'd known him for years and at this point and thought, no way he'd lie to me, especially about something so small. Fast forward a week and I finally get us all ready to play more. We're having a great time, although Barbarian has been awfully quiet, and then I hear YouTube shorts coming from his mic. We're playing over Discord. I said, hey Barbarian. He didn't respond. I said it louder and he said, yeah. I told him I can hear him on his phone and he said, sorry, the game's kind of slow right now. I forgave him and told him to just focus up some more in the future. All right, off the cuff here, I just get a feeling Barbarian's losing the want to play, to be honest. They just don't sound as interested. I get things can be distracting, but do try to focus during your games, everybody. Your DM and the other players are taking time to hang out and play the game, so you should be focused on, the thing you're doing, the thing you're playing, the game. Just common courtesy. If you do decide to fuck around on your phone though, really don't be surprised if you end up being seen as a problem, which could lead to you not getting to play, which I guess is great if you want more time to fuck around on your phone. A few more weeks go by and we keep playing sessions, although I notice Barbarian isn't coming as often. I told myself, whatever, probably doing something more important. I message him after missing a few sessions in a row and he says, sorry, family stuff, I'll make sure to let you know when I'm free. I tell him it's all good, but out of curiosity, I ask another friend of his if they'd hung out recently, and he tells me, yeah, we played some games and hung out at his place. I ask when, he lists times for 2 of the 3 sessions. I then message Barbarian and tell him I would have been fine if you had just had plans, but why'd you lie? And told them what I'd been told. He said he was sorry and that he panicked. I forgave him again. Okay, if someone misses one session, I ask for a reason why. I get shit happens, but to be honest, I want to make sure my players are okay and healthy. So if they aren't able to attend, I'm not like sitting them down like in a police interrogation, like, where were you? But I was just like, hey, is everything going okay? Like, you weren't there, because I've had players oversleep sometimes, or usually when something comes up, they're like, hey, I can't play. I'm sorry. I got da-da-da-da-da, whatever. If they miss multiple like this, to be honest, we're having a conversation about it, because there is a chance I've been holding back on story beats so that they don't miss it. And it's rude to miss on multiple sessions and not give a reason. It's even ruder, though, to lie about why you missed. With the missing sessions stacking up and lack of attention to the game, when they do decide to grace the table with their presence, OP might really want to just consider dropping Barbarian. Their heart's not in it. Then I started noticing things. Every time I would call to start a D&D session, he would start hanging up. Sometimes immediately, and to this day, despite swearing he would love to play D&D with us, life drags him down. I removed him from the D&D general chat once and said that he hadn't played in months, so we didn't want to keep bothering him. He complained about being spam called and spam messaged lots, and that he wouldn't have to hang up anymore. I think my specific words were, "You can just admit you don't want to play anymore, it's not going to hurt her feelings, and you get so annoyed by us messaging the chat, so I'm taking you out of it." I could have been nicer, but in the end he started talking about his cousin and how it had been so tough because he can't see him often, so he plays with him a lot. To be honest, there is a limit on how nice you have to be. If someone is going to not pay attention when they play, miss multiple sessions, lie when they miss multiple sessions, and get annoyed when they get, quote, spammed by general chat messages, perhaps they don't deserve your nicest answer. They're just being a piece of crap, to be honest. I added him back and felt really bad, so I stayed off him for a while. Fast forward to now, we've started multiple new games without him, and each time he hears about it, he complains and says, "Please make sure you have room for my PC, I'll make time soon." But he's been saying that for 2 months now, and I've been having fun with just my group of 4 players. No paladin, and I've gotten a replacement barbarian. If this was me, I would not have re-added him. If he wants to play again, he can come crawling back and we'll have a very blunt talk before I even bring the idea to the table. Because him being a piece of crap doesn't only affect, like, you as the DM, but the entire table overall. And the table would have to want to take him back too for me to even consider it. Barbarian clearly doesn't have the want to play, but is annoyed that they aren't being included. They want to have their cake and they want to eat it too, which you can't always do, especially when you lie and bitch about it. OP should just remove him so he isn't hurt by all the games happening without him, and let him know to reach out when he is more serious about rejoining the campaign, and you can chat about it then. Our last story today is going to be from user NewBench784 and is titled "First Time Playing with a DM for my uni, put a level 6 party against an adult black dragon with boosted stats." Not much to it, but I played in an online session with a DM from my uni. He's not new to DMing, but he has a reputation of skewing things in his way. During this one shot, we get put up as a level 6 party against a Medusa, followed right after by an adult black dragon that had boosted stats. The dragon had a bite attack that it doesn't have that grapples people. It has a +7 to dex saves, +8 to strength saves, and +5 to charisma saves, and we still don't know the rest of the stats. It has legendary resistances and actions. And reminder, we are a level 6 party. On top of everything, he instantly questions and tries to refute whenever anyone does anything relatively cool or strong. Okay, I'm going to assume that we are playing 5th edition D&D. So, with that, adult black dragons have a +7 to dex saves, +10 to con saves, +6 to wisdom saves, and a +8 to charisma saves. So in this instance, the dex is normal, unless OP stating they have a +7 on top of the normal +7 for a +14. And the strength is technically too higher. Normally they're at a +6, and the charisma is actually lower. So perhaps they traded the saves around a bit. The bite attack is definitely different. Normally they don't have grapple on the bite, but legendary actions and resistances are standard for the adult black dragon. Now, I'm not going to knock skewing the stats and abilities. This can be a really useful tool as a DM to keep your players on their toes and keep things fresh. That being said though, if the theme of this one shot isn't a fight against all odds against an unbeatable foe, an adult black dragon is a pretty deadly fight for a fully equipped level 4 party of 4. I'm going to assume a party of 4 here. When it comes to CR balancing for 5e, they assume that the party size is about 4 people. If that is what happened, that's really shitty of the DM to do. That, along with questioning and refuting when your players are trying to do something cool or think outside of the box. I personally am always for trying to do rule of cool when possible. I want my players to have heroic moments and do really cool actions. As long as we can do it in a way that makes sense within the universe and is balanced for the other players, I am for it. This DM does give off the vibe that they're a very DM versus player kind of person, which is a horrible way to DM. Do not ever do this. D&D is not a competitive game. It is a collaborative game. The DM and players are collaborating to tell a story. The DM should be aiming to challenge their players, sure, but not stack the deck so clearly against them it borders on competitive or ruthless. Quick caveat to this, of course, is in situations where the DM and players have discussed as a table that they want things to be competitive, which I guess if that works for y'all, have a blast, but to be honest, that mindset will not work for 99% of tables. That's because the DM has the ability to spawn essentially things in the world and can cause things to happen that can immediately kill your players. For example, if a DM just wants to fucking win and there's let's say a party of level 1s, they just have an ancient red dragon appear. And oh, by the way, there's no way you can escape. It follows you to every turn and corner you do. Oh, I guess you all die then. If you want to do competitive kind of gotcha shit, I would recommend probably not playing like a tabletop RPG and maybe go play Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that, where you can do a 1 or 2 turn card combo like out of the anime and you send them to the Shadow Realm or whatever. Do that instead. Alrighty guys, that is going to be it for me today. I would love to hear your thoughts in those comments down below on anything we talked about. If you're enjoying the video, please do like and subscribe. Catch me on Twitch as well. Link is in the description. I will see you guys all in the next one though. Have a good one, everybody.